responding to, just listen to Venezuelans, just listen to Cubans, just listen to Iranians, is really difficult as a leftist if you know what they're saying isn't representing the group, but you don't have a close connection or a good model of what that group actually believes. And that is why the left needs to get much better at diaspora politics, the politics of that diaspora. And as I've said, the right has a home field advantage because they've got the trap set. That's why this is already so difficult, because the Iranians, Venezuelans, Cubans, etc., that we will largely have access to are disproportionately in support of regime change. And that is a choice. That is a choice that the American empire did by choosing who comes in. That's largely true of the first wave, not as true of later waves, but still generally an effect on the population. And it is very hard to undermine that if instead of building in a better, effective, and counter-narrative about diasporas and about how to actually engage them politically, as we have, for example, the pro-Palestinian movement, or pushing for refugee status for Syrians, we simply reject diasporas as a whole, which I have been guilty of at points in my life. And my proposal, as it has always been, is to build an effective leftist model. Think about how to engage with the new generation of Iranians that recognize the harm of American imperialism while experiencing at times harms of the consequent regimes of American imperialism. How do you engage with people who grew up with their grandfather telling them how evil communism is while they literally with their eyes saw how evil America was? There is a way to do this, and it is necessary if we want to ground our politics in anti-imperialism. We cannot circle jerk as white American leftists without engaging with the people from the global south that we actually have access to. But we also cannot have that co-opted by the right wing to push interventionist and paternalistic narratives. So this is mainly a call to action for thinking about it, engaging with it, talking about it amongst each other. There's lots of theory on this issue. I read Elite Capture, there's also a lot of post-colonial theory, but I bring this up because Venezuela is a clear example of this, where there is a clear difference between the diaspora and the in-country peoples, especially on the position of Western imperialism and American intervention. And the calls to listen to Venezuelans always leaves out the Venezuelans in the country, or the Venezuelans in the country are lied about, when, from our best data, we know a majority of them don't support American intervention. But we cannot successfully defend against that if we don't actually have better, effective communities, narratives, and models. Because the right wing has a multi-billion-dollar model of this. We got nothing.